and welcome to the VSA Capital Tech and Transitional Energy Podcast. Thursday, the 18th of December, and it'll be our last one for 2025. And I've got Phil here sitting next door to me, jumping at the bit because he wants to go to lunch. No, I think he's just excited about what he's going to talk about.
You're going to lunch? I've just had mine. But it is the last one of the year, actually, so very sad.
Right, so what we'll just do today, last one of the year, we're obviously going to put our New Year tips out at the start of next year. Yep. So that will probably be January the 8th, I suspect, because I ain't doing it on New Year's Day, just to give you a clue. But we'll rattle through pretty quick Phil's list of stocks that have reported and a few other little bits and pieces. Shut up, Phil. I'm trying to talk. And then we'll have a bit of fun at the end, just throwing a few questions about 2025 to each other. We haven't prepped it at all. Phil will get cross. I'll just talk. Right, off you go, Phil. What have you seen this week? Quick, here we go.
Right, guys, there's a few announcements. Philtronic, covered plenty of times before. Tickers STC. These shares have done really, really well this year. It's electronics for aerospace defence. Doing very well with Starlink orders for amplifiers. They've just announced a £7 million contract from a European defence prime. Expect to be £11 million over a 2-year part of an £11 million program over 2 years. And production is taking place at Philtronic's new secure automated microelectronics facility in Chesterfield. The company, as I say, has done fantastically well. It's had a lot of businesses from Starlink, and it's expanding its facilities, recruiting more engineers. So it's all good news for UK.
So Philtronic is sort of the next of tech and technology, isn't it? You know, it always just beats what it said it would. But the trouble is, of course, you have to keep it going. And it's next year, it's got to keep going, even bigger orders. But it is a great company.
Yeah, it's been super. Ilika, battery technology, solid-state batteries, they're developing. Tickers IKA.
Don't tell me another milestone.
Yes, but do you know what? It is another milestone, but it's quite an interesting one, actually, because it's gotten to sampling customers with its new Stoics battery technology, and it's sampling 21 customers, which it's chosen from its pilot line for testing. And the applications for these tiny batteries are to be used in implanted sensors in the body, neurostimulators, orthopedic implants, all sorts of medical applications. But it's an interesting next step, because once you get sampling and you get testing and evaluating, ultimately, you hope it leads to purchase orders.
I just get very bored with milestone RNSs, but Ilika is a great company. I would love to wrap my hands all around it and go and find them a great, fantastic strategic backer, because I think that's what they need. I've said it many a time. It's actually had a very good 2025. It's up about 80% this year. It started the year at about 20p. It's now about 40p. Must have started the year just above 20p, actually, otherwise it'd be up 100%. But it is a good company. I would say I would love to wrap my hands around it and help them go ballistic. Anyway, there you go. Moving on.
Right. There we go. Techmar.
Yeah, we like Techmar.
Ticker is TGP, 30 million market cap. Well, the shares have been doing very well this year, up by 50%. And if you read their announcements, you'll see why. The company continues to win orders, and this is for what they call asset protection technology for offshore engineering services. Basically, it is specialist anchoring technology for undersea infrastructure. They just announced a contract in excess of €8 million with an existing EPC customer, and it's to deploy their 10th generation cable protection systems for UK offshore wind farms. So continuing progress there for Techmar.
Techmar was in our picks and shovels note we wrote quite a few years ago. You know, the winners of transitional energy. Unfortunately, it's had a very, very tough time. Got very close, I would say, to going under. Bear in mind, about 5 years ago, the stock was 160p. Today, it's 9.5p. And it looks as though it can turn itself around. It's got a completely new management team.
Yep.
Clearly, the upside is enormous. So that's what we're going to be looking at in 2026. Keep going.
It is indeed. Chesterfield Special Cylinders.
Yep.
CSC is the ticker, 13 million market cap. They have their full year results to September. The shares are more or less flat over the year, just slightly down. This is an engineering business that has been around for many, many years. It's highly specialised. The cylinder technology, these are cylinders that go into military applications, frigates and submarines, and they handle and store gases at very, very high pressures indeed. And they need to do that in an extremely robust way. There can't be any safety failures. The cylinders are also used for storing hydrogen. The results, defence revenue is up by 15% to 12.8 million. And also they secured contracts for integrity management services. This is checking over the cylinders to see that they're still performing to specification. They've said that their outlook for 26 is very positive, underpinned by overseas defence contracts, particularly Royal Australian, Royal Canadian, US and Spanish navies. Integrity management business has nearly doubled, and a lot of that's from the UK. In terms of the hydrogen revenue, that's smaller at 2.6 million, up from 1.7 million, and they were supplying cylinders to the Aberdeen Hydrogen Hub contract, and there are potential contracts coming through from the UK government hydrogen allocation rounds. The business have been struggling very much for cash, made a disposal of the PMC engineering business during the year, and it's now got a cash balance sheet of £2.1 million from £0.1 million and no debt, and strong order intake during the 4-year period as well. So we've got an order book of £16.3 million.
So this was also in picks and shovels, but as Precision Technologies, obviously it changed its name when it got rid of
Pressure
PMC.
Technologies.
Pressure Technologies,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
They got rid of PMC. It was Pressure Technologies.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry. Run by Chris Walters. Actually, so they had their figures today. He's actually going to have a chat with me tomorrow. It's as you say, it's a really interesting company. He worked so hard to turn this round. Again, just going back, let's go back about 5 years again. It was 150p. Today it's 40p. You can see that there is sort of inherently a lot of value here. It's a very small company, though. You've got to find out who's going to be the buyers. Actually, that maybe gives the answer that maybe one day there is a big buyer. I do own it personally, actually. I like it. It's a nice little company. Anyway, moving on.
There we are. ITM Power.
Yep. Nice order today.
Yeah. Ticker's ITM. Market cap now is £397 million, and the shares are up 80% year to date. But I'm sure Andrew will have a chart on his screen going back quite a long way, and the shares were a lot higher a long time ago. But certainly the company has been making a lot of progress. This is electrolyzer technologies for generating hydrogen. They've announced another contract today, and this is for a project managed by Octopus Energy Generation, and it's deploying their containerized green hydrogen systems at Kimberly-Clark's manufacturing plant in Gravesend. And this is green hydrogen to decarbonise the paper-making process to manufacture Andrex.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Unfortunately, if you go back, again, 5 years, that's what we're looking at.
Yep.
Stock was trading at over £7 a share. Today it's 65p. But it is turning around. This is the hydrogen economy. It is slowly starting to happen. So, again, another one to watch out for probably in 2026.
Okay, we're sort of moving along onto software within tech. Netcall, ticker is NET, 186 million market cap, one that we've spoken about previously. Shares are up just 4%. This is enterprise software for automating customer engagements, AI-powered, and allows people like call centres, well, it's more than that, it's government centres, but anything communicating with customers to help to automate engagement with that. They had an AGM trading update, just confirming positive momentum continued in the first half of 26. Trading in line with management expectations, whatever they may be, but sounds quite positive. They get a strong pipeline, robust balance sheet, and clear momentum for increased cloud automation sales. Confident progress.
Very good.
But there we are. So that
was a good. We should run through at that pace every time. I think it's far more interesting. I also noticed actually this week there was some news out on Nano One, which is one of our favourites, isn't it, over in Canada? I love talking about Nano One. But basically it was just sort of a bit of a wrap up for the year, I think, wasn't it? But it's a stock that under Dan Blondal, who runs Nano One of the best people with the most knowledge, in my view, in the battery space. Always worth listening to. But anyway, so here we go. I'm going to just throw a few questions at you, Phil. See if you're awake.
Oh no, I might have to run.
Or if you're alert.
I might have to run away.
You may be alert. Anyway,
go on.
So what was the highlight moment in 2020-25 for you?
The highlight moment?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, you see, generally in the markets, it was when everything bounced back from the Trump tariffs being introduced because it had a hell of an effect. I must have worried an awful lot of people, but it came back very, very quickly in terms of the investment.
When was that? Back in April or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it was, yeah. Yeah, that was quite a highlight because as an investor and holding a pension, it was quite a worrying moment.
Okay, so and what is? I mean, I said we were only looking backwards, but we'll look a little bit forward. Tell me something you think that could be the most unconsensus thing that could happen in 2026 that no one would likely predict.
The most unconsensus thing. Oh my word!
I'm really having to make you think here.
Yeah, you are. That is very, very harsh. I think one of the major tech companies coming out.
Hasn't got to be tech. You can have anything.
Well, anything.
Because it will impact the market.
Right, impacts in markets. I think
could be something like the sun burns out, kills solar power.
It would do if the sun. Well, we get, of course, an alien invasion. That would be totally unexpected.
Yeah, that would be.
But it help defence spending.
That's true, yeah.
But if you develop something quick enough, seriously, I think that one of the major tech companies cutting its capital expenditure budget would have a real, and that is certainly, we've seen that before. Well, last time we saw capex cuts.
Right. Is the Ukraine war going to finish in 2026?
I don't know. Because what depends on what they have to concede to. You really, really hope for everyone all around it does, but so far there don't seem to be a lot of concessions in the negotiations.
Yeah, interesting, wasn't it? What about Venezuela? Will it be part of America? Regime change?
Well, that's what just
you can see I've caught him on the hook here. He hasn't thought about these things at all, has he? And actually, what I'm really just trying to say to him is, look, we all need to go away for Christmas and the New Year and think a little bit back about what really, because you know what, 2026 is going to be an amazing year. It's going to be a year of 4 quarters, a bit like an American football match. You know, things could swing around so much from quarter to quarter. To give a full year prediction is going to be really, really difficult. Yeah. I will tell you, my standout moment, I would say this quite often, my standout moment for 2025 actually was the few days I spent in Dubai at the Dubai Air Show with Origo. I know it's a stock we love to talk about, but you know what? First of all, I had incredibly good fun. I loved it. Particularly jumping in the C919, the Comac. And talking to the pilots and the stewardesses about the fact that...
And you were a pilot?
I was a pilot, I was a pilot. I've flown jets, so I get it. But also, it was incredibly exciting because of 2 other reasons. One was we actually discovered a lot of capital that was very interested in what Origo are doing out in the Middle East region and elsewhere. They were all at the Dubai Air Show. And actually just spending time, there's a lesson here. We spent a lot of time, obviously, with the CEO and also some of the team. And, you know, when you spend time and you go at the end of the day, you go for a meal and a beer, and I've always said this, you get to know each other and you bounce ideas. And when you're bouncing ideas with an investment banker, funny if I've just been doing it with another company, I won't say who.
No,
the meeting, Phil, went on a lot longer than expected because I was bouncing ideas and he was going, I just hadn't thought of things the way you're thinking about them and connecting certain dots together. And that's what we were sort of doing in Dubai, you know, when we helped develop this whole hub strategy. A lot of it came out of that because you're sitting there having a beer, having a meal, and you talk and you say, well, what about this? Sometimes companies get quite focused in on their own company. We have the same problem running a broking business. I get very focused in on what I'm doing. And sometimes I need somebody to go, actually, Andrew, you thought about doing this. And it's often someone who's slightly once removed from your own industry that can prompt an idea to go, yeah, I know that's not how you normally do it, but have you actually ever thought about doing it that way? Because maybe that's a better way. We tend not to think like that in our own companies. So that was an outstanding moment for me, I've got to say. And it's something that, I mean, again, not to do with tech and transitional energy, but in August, those that listen to the 5-Minute Morning Miner will know I went out to Mexico for 2 weeks. And obviously, I'd been planning that pretty much back at the beginning of the year because I was saying, look, Mexican and silver are going to be really interesting. And that was a standout moment. And again, it just shows by getting on a plane, going and seeing these things, you really get to understand what's going on. And actually, 2 of the companies I've visited since then have done huge acquisitions and fundraisings. We've been able to help them a little bit with it. Obviously, we're slightly constrained because it's all done out on the TSX. But sometimes you just got to get on a plane and go places and actually walk around with companies. You learn a lot. You talk to each other. You see new things. You see new investors. So one of my aims 2026, and that may sound a bit strange, is probably to get on a plane more often and go and find these new pools of capital. Because again, a lot of people know I went out this year to Hyderabad, and that's how I got involved with Atri and NextGen, who have invested in Origo and Infinity Energy Systems, talking about lots more very exciting ideas with them. Watch this space. But yeah, you've just got to get out there and do things. The question, of course, 2026 is, which direction do you fly? I used to fly east an awful lot because we had an office in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Slightly less flying east, but that may open up again. You never know. But it's probably flying west. Maybe flying south. We will wait and see. So, all right. So, and finally, Phil, what's your name?
What? How can you forget that? There's one he's.
What are you hoping to get for Christmas?
Me, I was just going to say, I've just bought my. I got a rail card actually. While you're flying, I'm going to be on the trains visiting companies, Andrew. I think. While you're meeting the investors. Now, what am I getting for Christmas? I don't know yet. Santa surprise. We will wait and see. What kind of predictions will be good for next year? Because as you say,
have you bought your wife a present?
Yes, I have indeed.
Will she be pleased?
Sincerely hope so. I bought her a few. Yes.
Oh, you bought her a few. I think my wife wants I think she's going to get a Volkswagen T-Roc.
All right.
In the new year as they bring out a new model. But there you go. Right, on that note, we're yabbering away. Hopefully everyone has a very good Christmas. Happy New Year. We'll be back, as I say, on January the 8th. Please always feel free to message us. Some of you are now starting to message us with ideas, picking up on stocks we're talking about, asking for more information. We love interaction. It's really, really good. But yeah, on January the 8th, we will give you our predictions, our thoughts, what's really happened in 2026. So enjoy your Christmas. Thanks.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.